السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلله فلا هادي له. Brothers and sisters in Islam, today we will be talking about a topic that is very relevant in the society that we live in today. The topic that we have chosen to talk about, me and my beloved brother Amin Abdul Awal, is the cycle of sin. A lot of people might be wondering, what is the cycle of sin? It's a cycle which every single human being faces in their daily life. I will start by giving an introduction to the beginning of sin, and inshallah after that Hafiz Amin will continue and elaborate on those points. So I will start with the start of shirk, which is obviously the most major sin, which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that there is no forgiveness for a person that commits shirk other than if he comes back into the fold of Islam, i.e. reads the kalima, asks for sincere tawbah after coming back into the fold of Islam. So a lot of you may ask, how did shirk start? The simple answer is shaitan, after the time of Adam, because in the time of Adam there wasn't sin. When his son came, Qabil came and murdered his brother Habil. This is when the division of the humans, you can say, the first humans, the tribe of Qabil and the tribe of Adam, they split up. And there were obviously the story, inshallah we will explain it in more elaborate terms inshallah in the next video. But in shorter terms, the two tribes, the Qabil went astray, and the tribe of Adam, they stayed on the path, and they were basically the Muslims of the time. So how did shirk start? Because there was no shirk. Qabil's people, they still didn't deny Allah. They commit sin. They had their parties, their music, the integration with the two genders, but they didn't have shirk at that time. So what did the shaitan, Iblis, what did he do? Well, he took the form of a human man, and he came to the people of Qabil, and obviously this is why even small sins like listening to music have a knock-on effect. It shows that they had iman, but they had weak iman. They didn't, they believe in Allah. A lot of times you see this in the society today, that people believe in Allah, but they don't believe in Allah fully.
Yeah.
They don't fully believe it. You find people, yes, I believe in Allah, but do they pray? No. You might see them in Jummah here and there. You might see them in Eid prayer here and there, but they're not believing fully. And you see this 100% in today's society. And this was how they were. They used to believe in Allah, but they used to be weak in iman and their faith, and they used to sin. So this was a weakness found by the shaitan. That's what he did. He exploited this weakness. What does the shaitan do best? Exploits weakness in iman. This is why the strong iman cannot be exploited. In one of my previous videos I did explain that the Sahaba Umar radiallahu anhu, the shaitan had given up on him. Why? Because he had a very strong iman. So coming back to my point, these people who had the weak iman from the tribe of Qabil, they had their high figures. So what the shaitan did, he would come to them in human form and tell them, this person amongst you, this very, this sheikh, you can call him, he was very, he was a high status, so why don't you just paint a picture of him, reminiscent of him, and just remember him, because he can't be forgotten. He was a very pious man, amongst your people. So obviously the people who had that weak iman, they said, yeah, they would just hang up a picture. There's no harm in that. And you'll find out why now painting pictures and having pictures of faces is haram. You should get the gist of it. So they put up the picture, and then a few generations went by when they would just put a picture up in their house, and then then they would slowly start moving on to physical objects, like they would mold something. They would keep a if you Google Easter Island, you find these elaborate statues, and a lot of them say that they date back to idols long time before, in the shape of humans. So they would mold their shape into, they'd make big statues, and they would just keep them there, and then they would look at them. Oh, this person was. They would just remember them. Such remembrance. But now a few more generations went by, and the prophet, the prophets went by, and then they would make, the big sheikhs went by, and they would make big elaborate statues and paintings and everything. So then Iblis came back to the people, and he said to them, your forefathers, they used to worship these people, but they didn't used to worship these people. He used his power of deception, and he said that because the generations didn't know who these people were. So he came, and it was easy for him to now say, because the statues were already there, it was easy for him to say that your forefathers used to worship these people. So they started, slowly, not much, maybe with just one prostration here and there. Slowly, it started getting more elaborate, asking these statues for stuff. Stop believing in Allah. And this was the start of shirk. So this shows that why drawing pictures and hanging up pictures of faces and people and the deceased and making statues is haram in Islam, because it leads to different things. It leads to further things, and the shaitan uses his deception and this power of his to the fullest on the people who have weak iman, and they make these things. It's much easier for him. So as Muslims, I advise you, brothers and sisters, to stay away from this. I will end my part of the speech here, and I will give it to my brother Hafiz Amin Awal to continue with this speech. Inshallah, he will be speaking about the cycle of sin. So I will be handing over now, inshallah.